Salvete, we are picking it up in lines 81 to, well, 131 ultimately, but on this frame, 81 to 86, book 1. And this is right after Juno and Aeolus have their conversation. And so we're going to find out what action Aeolus takes. So here we go. Haec ubi dicta, cavum conversa cuspide montem, impulit in latus, ac venti velut agmine facto, qua data porta ruunt, et terras turbine perflant. Now you may have noticed some alliteration in there, such as haec dicta cavum conversa cuspide, also venti velut, and some T sounds here. Data porta ruunt et terras turbine perflant. We have some nice C's, V's, and T sounds in there. Haec ubi dicta, when these whereby is what you have to put in there, words, dicta sunt, were said. Okay, let me just add in a couple, I'll bump my font up a little bit there. Okay, and so haec verba, we got verba, you got a supply in there. And then also dicta, it's really dicta sunt. Okay, he leaves out the verb there. Dicta sunt. Cavum, and that's Aeolus. When these words were said ab Aeole, you could also put in there by Aeolus. The subject is Aeolus, and the verb is impulit. He struck. Okay, he struck. It's from impello, impellere, impuli. So this is the perfect tense. He struck the, and then here's your objects. Cavum montem. Montem, the hollow mountain. And how did he strike it? There's an ablative that tells us that. A little ablative phrase here. Cuspide conversa. That is ablative. Okay, remember ablative tells us how something is done. It's like turning a noun or an adjective into an adverb, telling us how he struck it. So, how did he strike it? He struck the hollow mountain, direct object, accusatives, conversa cuspide, with his downturned spear. Cuspis is a point of a spear, or it can mean the whole spear. In latus, in the side, or into the side, meaning montes, of the mountain. Ac venti velut agmine facto, okay, and the winds, new subject, okay, and ac is and, velut agmine facto, velut, just like with a battle line made, okay. This is an ablative also. It tells us how the winds are going to blow out over the land. And so agmine facto, I like using blue for ablative here, also ablative. And it's an ablative phrase, an ablative absolute, I would say, with a battle line made. It compares them to soldiers, in a sense. And velut, just like. So this is, since it says just like here, this is a simile, right? Let's use a little different color here. Get all colorful. This is a simile, right? Just like, we have a simile. It's a very small simile, but just like with the battle line having been made. Qua. Qua, you want to translate here as where. I would say it means qua parte. It's like parte is in there. From what part, okay? Where. Data porta, where gates, a gate is given, okay, where a gate is given. So this little phrase in here is kind of stands on its own here. Qua data porta. They, and here's what the winds do, they ruint, they rush out, okay, and they perflant, they blow over the tiras, that's the direct object of what they blow over. Let me erase a little extra there part. They blow over, you know, the lands, turbine. And this is also ablative, so we're going to do it in blue. Turbine. How do they blow? Turbine, in a whirlwind. So also ablative. Ablative tells us how things are done. Ablative, how. Turns nouns and adjectives into adverbs. So one more time over that little part, or that sentence, we have these words, or when these words were said, he, meaning Aeolus, struck. Okay, now remember this impulit Aeolus is the subject, okay? He, meaning Aeolus, struck the hollow mountain in the side with his spear downturned. And the winds, a subject change, just like when a battle line is made, or with a battle line having been made, if you want to do it that way. Usually these kind of ablative absolutes you say with the noun having been participled, okay? With the battle line having been made. That's a good way to translate it into English. Where a gate is given, or a gate was given, you got to put in an est there if you want to make it complete. With a gate given, it's like a, this is a participle also, perfect passive participle modifying porta. And I guess it is a another little verb in this phrase right here with this participle, which needs an est to make it a complete verb. Where a gate was given, they rush out, the winds rush out, and they blow over the lands in a whirlwind. Okay, let's continue. Incubuere mari totum quasedibus imis, unurusque notusque ruunt creberque procellis, Africus et vastos volvunt ad littora fluctus. This indicates a page break for far right here. So you got page here and then this here. And it looks like my page on here is incorrect. It should be page 24. Oops, I'll have to fix that. Okay, so the subjects of this sentence, we have several. Okay, it's the Winti. They, the Winti from before, up here, they are the subject here. And then the Winti get named in specific, 3 of them. Okay, so the 3 winds that are going to be named are the Eurus, the which is the, I'm double checking on my thing here, the east wind, okay, the Notus, which I know is the south wind, and the Africus, which is the southwest wind. And since those are subjects, we'll double underline them. And the verb that they go with is incubuere, and you could take that, with Wanti, incubuere, or all these guys, incubuere. Incubuere comes from incumbo, incumbere, incubui, incubitus, and it's kind of like recumbo, to recline. This is to lie upon, or Farr says to brood over, to be on. Incubuere. And it's not an infinitive, that ere looks a little bit like it, but it's one of those perfects, perfect active plurals. So really, this is, I'll put it on the side here, incubuerunt. Incubuerunt. And we'll put that over here. That's really incubuerunt. They lie upon. It's been apocopated. The ending's been taken off. They lie upon the sea. And incubuere probably takes the dative. Yes, it does. Okay, I just checked it. So it takes a dative. That's mari, dative. Usually, you would think it'd be accusative, but this is dative. Mari, third declension. So the winds lie upon the sea, and both the Eurus and the Notus, both the east wind and the north wind, south wind, those quays in there, when you see two quays like that, you want to translate them as both and you're going to see this a few times in the next lines. So the first one you say both, and then the second one and that just kind of makes sense of those two quays. So you got they lie upon the sea, and both the east wind and the south wind, una, together, una, as one, okay. Ruint, got the same word here, but here it's taken an object, so they overturn. The totum, and you got to supply in there, mare, because it really means the whole sea, okay, taken from right before it, you saw that. Okay, it's blue, but you guys like blue, right? So, the whole sea. Now, I know that, we just had this word ruin, and it was rush, and now you see ruint again. Here's rush, and here they overturn the whole sea, but sometimes poets like to use the same word, but with different meaning. So, this totum is the object, totum mare, okay? From their deepest seats or foundations, like from the depths, okay? And these are ablative, and they're ablative from where, because the ablative shows direction from a place. Okay, so that part one more time. They, meaning the winds, recline upon the sea, or lie upon the sea, and both the east wind and the south wind together as one overturn the whole sea from its deepest foundations, deepest depths. Okay, and the last part. And the Africus, and then you got an adjective that describes it, thick with squalls, or storms. And so this is, we're going to double underline because it goes with Africus, and that just understand that that's going across the line there. Thick with, and then what's it thick with? This ablative with squalls. Got a lot of ablatives going on here. Or storms, describing how it's thick. Remember, how. And they roll. Wohlwunt. That's a verb. They roll. Who's they? The winds roll. They roll the vastos fluctus, the vast waves toward the sea. The shore. Sorry, the shores. Literally shores, it's plural. Okay, but yeah, that could be plural, that's fine. The vast waves, water, to the shores. That word is litus. It's a very important word in Vergil and always. Litus is singular, is shore. And then in plural, it's oops, sorry, that's one we capitalized there. Litora. Okay. So there we go. Litus is singular, litora plural, to the shores. That part, one last time. They lie upon the sea, and both the east wind and the south wind together overturn the whole sea from its deepest foundations. They rush, I just did that, sorry. And the southwest wind, thick with storms, or squalls, does that too. And they turn, this is plural, they turn the vast waves toward the sea. Okay, let's take a look at the next few lines.